the Office of Partnerships and Public Engagement, Ms. Diane Cutler. Diane?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Do I really need to use a microphone?
Nah.
Nah? Okay. Welcome. I want you to look to the left and look to the right. The folks that you see on your left and right are, or should be, the leadership of the next generation in the agricultural industry, whether here at USDA, in the private sector, or as a farmer, rancher, or producer. All right? I want you to become familiar. This is going to be your own network. I don't care if you're interested in nutrition, biotechnology, international trade, policy for ag on Capitol Hill when it comes to the Farm Bill. If you want to be a producer in the field, if you want to move back home and take over your grandfather's ranch or your grandmother's farm, whatever it is, I want you to look, because these are the people that you're going to go to. All right? You are going to be more successful if you look at this as a fraternity. If you look at this as you are all in the same club. You need to share your experiences, share your knowledge, and never think you have to do this alone. Just like the Scholars Program that you're in right now. I don't want any of you to ever think you are alone. You have an entire federal department that is backing you up. And if they're not, you let me know. That means the people that you work with as your peers, your immediate supervisor, your program office, your agency within USDA, as well as the entire department, which comprises 105,000 people now, Phyllis, nationwide and around the globe. It's a pretty big fraternity, huh? The people you see here, and no, you want to get it bigger? Kind of, sort of. You are going to use what you're learning in school as your foundation. That is your first building block. You need to layer that with professional experiences and hoping that what you're getting here this summer is adding to that. Then you're going to go back to school, and you're going to be able to go into those 300 and 400 level classes as you work into your major. Then you're going to go on to your next scholars opportunity or internship. You need to layer all of this, because by the time you graduate and get out into the workforce, no matter what you're interested in doing, whether it be the federal government, private sector, or as an entrepreneur, you want to set yourself apart from everybody else who's trying to do the exact same thing. And you have the opportunity to do that in summers like this if you actually ask questions, get involved. And I can tell you right now, as looking at the folks that are here today, that I personally have been approached by probably about 5 people. Now, for those who know me, you also know that I have an open door, correct? So just like me, Phyllis, whose door doesn't have a thing to keep it open, she keeps it closed. We are all available. That's the message that I'm trying to get you. Talk to the folks who are the leaders here presently to be able to set the stage and plant those seeds for you to be the leaders of tomorrow. All right? OPPE, how many of you know about it? Oh, come on, hands a little higher. Yes, yes? Oh, you should, you work there. For those of you who do not, it's called the Office of Partnerships and Public Engagement. Secretary Perdue came in April 25th of last year. One of the first things he did was assess what we had for our agencies, and that includes REE, MRP, all the agent, FAS, all of them, and said, what are we doing that is clearly just that one agency work, and what are we doing that is really feeding into one department, and how are we, one of my favorite phrases, threading the needle between each of those agencies to serve all of our internal and external partners. And we had an office called the Office of Advocacy and Outreach. We had a Faith and Neighborhood Partnerships office. We had a New and Beginning Farmers office. We had a little bit of youth outreach here and there. And the secretary really sat down and in the interest of running an effective and efficient and a customer-driven department, he said, okay, I'm going to take these 6 areas of interest, I'm going to put them in one office, call it the Office of Partnerships and Public Engagement. We're basically going to take what was our individual outreach offices and put them on steroids. We're going to really get it up there. And we're going to make sure that all of these offices are talking to each other. Because you can be 10 times more effective if, and here's where I go back to what I said before, you don't do it alone. You count on your colleagues and your counterparts to help you get that message out. So that's what OPPE is. We've got 6 buckets. We've got higher education, which is including this 1890 Scholars Program. It also includes Hispanic serving institutions, our 1994 tribal colleges and universities. We run one grant program upstairs. It's called the 2501 grant program. In layman's terms, it's actually called, and I have to get a deep breath for this, the Social Disadvantaged Farmers and Ranchers and Veterans Farmers and Ranchers Grant Program. So we call it 2501. We have our Faith and Opportunity Office. We have Military Veterans and Agricultural Liaison. We have the Office of Tribal Relations, and I am missing one. Somebody help me out. That's Faith and Opportunity. Did I say that? Faith and Opportunity. New and Beginning Farmers and Youth Outreach. So those are our 6 buckets upstairs. All right? We are basically your front door for any new customer to USDA. All right? The reason I express what we're doing is because the 1890 Scholars Program fits in our office upstairs. You're part of us. I know you might be working in NIFA or REE or FAS or wherever you are throughout the Whitten building or the South building or anywhere else here in our national capital area, but you're one of us. So again, before I close, I want you to look to the left and the right. Do you know the person on your right? Great. Do you know the person on your right? I want you to go through. If you don't know, I want you to turn that person right now and introduce yourself.
Nice to meet you.
Come on, go one way or the other. Here today, I want you to leave here with contact information of one person you don't already know. And I want you to connect with that person, because that's what this is all about. We are here to help you. USDA is one of the best federal departments that we've got. Why? Because it touches every single person's life. It's not just farming. It's about food. This is a no-brainer. If you need anything, Phyllis has already said you reach out to her. If you need anything, you reach out to me. Our Chief of Staff, Rachel Pick, is over here, waving. She's from Iowa. She can tell you all about the Iowa farming industry. We are here to help. We are part of your team. Help us help you be successful. Thank you. It's been such a great exit had I not forgotten my phone.
Thank you, Diane, for words of inspiration. This is your event. It is an opportunity for you coordinators that will be present, the alumni that will be present, how they navigated through the federal employment is for you. Monty? Not yours.
So, thank you, Ms. Phyllis and Ms. Diane, for those heartfelt words. And now we're going to be moving into our Icebreaker event. So, when everyone walked in, you should have gotten a small card like this, but if you didn't, it's all right, we'll pass them out. And on the card, it has birth month, zodiac sign, right hand, right or left-handed, favorite genre of music, favorite color, university or college that you currently attended, or that you are that you currently are attending, or that you graduated from, and one unique quality about the person who you're meeting. So could you please take a few seconds to fill this out if you have not already done so? And we will begin our icebreaker by walking around and greeting individuals in the room and find someone who has 2 things in common with you and get their name and get their number or their email. Y'all can begin. Somebody else need an icebreaker?
Oh, you didn't take one? I gave it. I don't know.
Need that instruction?
Yeah, so you need to find somebody else.
Yeah, so you find somebody else who has two things that match with you. All right? Huh? And then a unique quality about them. Yeah, a unique thing. Yeah.
What happened? Where'd it go?
All right, so did everybody hear that? The instructions for the icebreaker?
You're crazy. Oh, now you want to give it back. Don't worry. No, I don't want none of that. I got me.
I'm right-handed and I like rap signs.
Okay, let me go down how to say it.
I'm home, man.
The right contact.
I'm November.
What year were you?
I had to ask him. It's nice to meet you. I'm Carlos.
College.
Carlos?
Carlos.
Carlos and Carlos. There we go. I was like, are you mimicking me?
What's the idea?
Because I don't understand the color code. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? That's perfectly fine anyway. Birth month. I'm October.
Okay. All right. Who were you studying? Computer science. Computer science. Okay. Gotcha. So I was 1890 as well. Attended Virginia State University and was an ag business and econ.
You like me?
I like algebra and other people like that. So they kick it. What about you? Hip hop. Okay. Favorite color? I like purple. Favorite
Yes. And you say you went to Southern University. Supervisor went to Southern. I thought you was
Oh, what you going to follow me?
Come on. Yeah.
Our intern housing was Venus Park Apartments right now, East West Highway.
Okay.
So that's where we used to stay.
My mom is a gym.
Initiated a review of all the performance plans for about 4 staff. So we had oh, okay. If I had all my dreams, oh, geez.
Okay, top
We graduated.
Graduated.
There's so much stuff going on. How about I do top two?
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Computer science. What about y'all?
IPCR, International Peace and Conflict Resolution.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Wow. What about marketing with a minor in fishery. Okay.
I have OCD, that's kind of unique. Very particular, that's not
Oh, it's a community college.
Red Barons.
I'm not familiar with a lot of things. I mean, when I went to Buffalo, I thought it was just like New York City, a little bit, but it's just.
I couldn't go to college. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, I just got here, so I'm kind of I'm kind of picking up on everything. Like,
I'll get all your contact information regardless. It's my roommate Cedric.
oh, what's good?
Marcel. Phil.
Wow, I'm all right. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, boy. That's what I built there. That's what I built there.
Yeah, that is good.
If I wasn't that southern, I'd live to be like real time.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hands down, they got the most stadium art. Football, locker room, and the entire
We both here.
I never signed. I never signed out. I was a scholar. I came in 15.
Well, my agent said the same thing. They said I don't have to wait for them. Stop.
All right, about 2 more minutes, we're going to wrap it up and move on to our next event.
Unless you want. And hop on pathways ASAP. They can't convert you to work 640 hours. Oh, that's a good conversion. So either way, you're gonna have to dedicate like a year to get those 640 hours. And that don't count anything else. That's 600. You gotta get 640 hours out of 80-hour pay. Top it up with another 3 hours. Our contract's
All right, guys. So we're going to be moving on to our next event. Now, from the list that you've made, from the individuals that you've interacted with, find a team or find teammates and create a team of 3 to 4 members to compete in our next event. Once you're in your team, please choose the team captain as well as the team man. Our next event is 1890's trivia hosted by Icebreaker class.
Team Sunny.
2, 3.
We have a team here?
4. Yeah.
Okay. You got a team here? Okay.
And then we have another team in the back and then in the middle. Okay, so please. We're going to start with the first question. Are you guys ready?
All right.
Okay, question 1. Okay, so there will be 10 questions about the history of the 1890's National Scholars Program. For this game, the team with the quickest response and correct answer will receive 1 point. Before providing your answer, if you could introduce yourself and also name your team name, and Nachi will keep the score for all the teams. So question 1.
Wait, Jessica. You gotta get their team name.
Okay. Question 1. What year was the first class of 1890's national program? So if you know the answer, please raise your hand. Question 1. What year was the first class of 1890's national program? Right here.
Alright, so we got team captain.
I'm India Thompson. We're the Cheetahs. 1890.
1890. That is incorrect.
Correct. Marky, who's first?
Who's first?
Yeah, who? This was first. Who's second?
What you doing?
Maybe you can get to that question without an answer.
Monty. Pay attention.
Oh yeah.
You're trying to.
Monty, if you could please let me know what team was
They're second. They're second. They were first.
Okay.
Alright, this is Team Icebreaker. The year is 1998.
That is correct. You have 1 point. Congrats. So Monty, if you could please keep the score. We are forward to question 2. What is the primary goal of the National Scholars Program? What is the goal? Right over here.
To try and incorporate more minorities within the USDA.
That is part of the answer. Thank you for that. There is more to it.
Anyone else?
Right here. So cultivate the next generation of workforce for USDA? That is partially correct. So we'll try one more team, and this is going to be the last. Yes. So the question is, what is the primary goal of the National Scholars Program? We already did. Perfect. So we have.
Hi, I'm Dominique Brown. I believe the primary goal is to recruit and retain individuals or minorities in the agricultural fields to work for USDA. And promote that, 1890 farming.
Yes, thank you. So that is correct. So I will go ahead and read this out loud. The goal of USDA 1890 National Scholars Program is to increase the number of students studying agriculture, food sciences, natural resources, and other related disciplines. Thank you. So moving on to question 3. What 3 programs make up the 1890s national program? So there's 3 programs that we house. What are they? And I'll repeat it one more time. What 3 programs make up the 1890s national program? So we have, of course, the scholars. What 2 other ones do we have? India?
So 1890 scholarship, pathways, and third Marshall.
Thank you.
You
No.
got 2 correct. Thank you, India.
2 out of the 3.
What's the fellas?
2 out of 3. Patrons are first.
That's new.
It's a hard one.
So we're going to try one last answer.
Take 5.
Okay, 1890 scholars, pathways, and HACU.
Haku. Very close. Very close. Very close.
Very good. That is not the answer. So we're going to try one last time.
Okay, I have a question on clarity. So you said different types of 1890 programs or things that OPPE does? Right.
In the 1890s national program office, there's 3 programs that we have. So that we are in charge of, that we lead.
Oh, so like the scholars, the coordinators, and the liaison?
Yeah, that's what we said.
It's not correct. All right, and I will. So the 3 programs that we house, and if you different right
answer. So the first one is the Third Ward Marshall National Internship Program. The second one is the National Scholars Program. And then the final one is the National Liaisons Program. So question 4. Are you guys ready? How many 1890s universities are there? Right here?
There's 1890 land grant university.
That is not correct. And I saw much looks like that campus. There are 19. There are 19. Halfway there. So question 5. Which is the latest institution to join the 1890s land grant universities?
We just told her.
If you could please state.
Central State University.
That is correct, thank you. And Central State is located in Wilforce, Ohio. So question 6. What legislation enacted the 1890 with land grant universities? So I see a hand up here.
What legislation?
The second oral act? That is correct. Question 7. When was the second Morrill Act enacted? What was the date? Thank you.
Just the whole thing of the year.
You want the month, date, and year, please. So I know, it is 1890, but you guys know the date. That is correct. The answer is August 30th, 1890. You're close. So question 8. So this is going to be a different. So you have 20 seconds to answer this question, and we're actually going to choose the first 3 teams. Are you guys ready? The first 3 teams with their hand up will have the opportunity to answer the question. Could you please name as many 1890s universities? So I thought this one much.
My bad, I saw this.
So University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Tennessee State University, and North Carolina A&T University.
Thank you. That was 3. The second team, Machi. So if you could please state your name and your team's name, please.
Oh, our team name is KMN.
I'm Fisher. All right, so Langston University, Delaware State, Virginia State, Tennessee State, so Alabama State, Alabama, A&M, Benny, A&T,
Thank you. Thank you. So Machi, how many universities was it? That was approximately 9. Thank you for sure. And the last team, do we have another one? Right over here on your right. Thank you.
Your name, team name, and then start naming the university.
Cameron Greenwells, Team CCCP. Some universities would be Prairie View A&M University, University of Maryland, Eastern Shores, Southern University, Alcorn State University, Central State University, Delaware State University, North Carolina A&T, Florida A&M University, Tennessee State University, Tuskegee University.
That is
Oh, University of Arkansas Public.
Thank you. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8. 13. He got more than 8.
13.
Thank you. So you get 1 point. And what team is that?
Team CCP.
Thank you. So question 9. Which USDA agency sponsors the highest number of scholars? And I think I saw him over here.
Rural Development.
That is not correct, but I want to hear your name and then your team name as well. What's your name? Hey, Mike, could you please give the mic to him? I want to hear his name and then his team's name.
Frank Reed, Team Icy Hot.
Thank you. We're going to move forward. What was the other team? In the back, please.
Coordinators Rock, Dominic Brown. NRCS.
That is correct. Thank you. So the Natural Resources Conservation Service. Thank you. And the last question. When does the application process open for the 1890's National Scholars Program? When does it open or when does it close? When does it open? Right here at front, please. Go ahead. 31st, 30th. That is not correct. So, any other team? I'll give you a hint. When is the fiscal year beginning? Right over here.
Adam Brown, Team Icy Hot, October 1st.
That is correct. Thank you. So much if you could please let me know who's the winner.
Icy Hot and Coordinators Rock are tied with 3 points.
With 3 points. So do we have a tiebreaker?
Is this a dance battle for the tiebreaker?
I'm sorry? Mike, do we have another final question? Oh. Let's see. So, one question. One last final question. What is an IDP? I saw it right here.
Just between the tiebreakers, right? Yes.
Team Icy Hot, name Frank Reed, IDP stands for Individual Development Plan.
That is correct. Thank you. So I will have you please come all up to the stage and you're going to receive a prize.
Team Icy Hot.
Team
Icy Hot, let's give her a round of applause.
If you could please come to the left-hand side. Yes. Yeah. And there you go, Frank. Thank you.
Okay, quick picture.
Quick picture.
The winning team. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
No, here. 1, 2, 3. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Michael Dukes. Michael is our 1890's National Student Coordinator. If you could please give a hand round of applause to Michael Dukes. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica, for your opening remarks.
marks there that were great. And let's give them a round of applause for our winners again for that. Okay, now we're going to our question and answer session. Some of you guys have sent us emails or questions that you have pertaining to the 1890's program, and we're here to help. So we have agency coordinators here, we have alumni as well as scholars, and we want to make sure that we take advantage of this opportunity that we all have you together to exchange information. And so if there are any questions right now, we would love to have. So, anyone? If not, we already have a few questions that were submitted to us prior anonymously, and so obviously we want to protect everyone's identity, but if there are any questions in the audience, we'll take those first. So anything that you guys want to know about your scholarship? Yes. In 1 second, we'll give you the microphone.
Okay, so my scholarship went coordinator in school. I think you always say that the job, all government jobs are pathway jobs, and that we need to be a pathway job in order to get after graduation. But these jobs that we're, like these internship jobs are not pathway jobs. Is that true?
Go ahead. Now, what agency are you talking about specifically? So the question is, for everybody who didn't hear him, is about a pathways position, and you're talking about either the internship during school, or you're talking about after you graduated. Right, and so the recent grads pathways positions is the position that you're supposed to be applying for after graduation or in your senior year. Sometimes it takes a little length of time to actually make the list, the certificates, and actually have the managers come back and review the applications and the most top eligible candidates. So we'd like you to start applying your senior year in school. Does that? Right. Is there another question? Did that spur another question? If not, one of the questions that we received anonymously was what are the GPA requirements, the mandatory work experience that you actually referred to, and the commitment to work for that agency. So, does anyone know? Yep.
I know the GPA requirement is 3.0.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, that is correct. It's a 3.0 cumulative, on a 4.0 scale or better, yes. Any other questions? If not, what about, what is the policy for voluntarily separating from your agency before the end of the scholars agreement? Does anyone know the answer to that? We have a person in the back.
You have to pay back the money that was funded while you were in the program.
Reimburse the sponsoring agency for costs of education incurred by the sponsoring agency. Great answer, Dominique. Thank you so much for that. We have another question that we received. Who should you contact before making any changes to your academic program? So you're in school, maybe you want to change majors or something like that. Who should you contact? Yes, sir? The microphone.
Oh, my name is Philip Taylor. I'm an 1890 scholar out of National Institute of Food and Agriculture. I'm a rising senior at University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. I believe you have to contact your actual sponsoring agency before you make any changes in your academic program.
That is correct, sir. Thank you so much. We would like for you to contact your sponsoring agency coordinator pretty much for everything, right? We want to make sure that they have eyes and ears on you. They know exactly what's going on with you while you're in school as well as while you're at your work site for the summer. And so the sponsoring agency coordinator should be your focal point for anything that you need to do. they should know exactly what's going on. Okay. And that concludes our portion of the question and answer portion. Now I'd like to go into our last bit, is how to effectively network. So a lot of us know how to network. Obviously, we're here doing network, right? But we don't know how to effectively network. What happens after you leave here? Or are you following up with people? How many people do you follow up with? So I came up with about 5 or 6 successful tips for effective networking. First one would be an open-minded person. The number one key to networking success is to be communicative, approachable, and open-minded person without prejudice that absolutely keen on exchanging information with other individuals. This includes you. You're the one that approaches others and initiates conversation. You may be doing a lot of people a favor by initiating a chat because some of them are shy and they want to sit back and they want to interact with you, but they don't know how to start that conversation. So that's number one. Number 2 is have some networking goals. It's always helpful to set yourself some goals that you want to achieve by your personal networking efforts. And just don't try to pursue those goals too straightforward, as this might seem rude to others. Some great networking goals could include the following: information, which includes about recent and upcoming trends; contacts, which make important contacts; connect with like-minded individuals or other personnel; advice, find tips from other people who are in the same category as you; some solutions, you find some solutions that help you find your problems; and relationships that help establish and advance your personal and professional goals. The number 3 networking tip would be to keep in touch. Obviously, this is the best contact will help you or not help you if you decide to keep in touch with that person. So quite frankly, it's important to keep in touch with everyone, right? Make sure you keep in contact with them. Get a business card or have a conversation, and then find ways to follow up with them. You can exchange useful information, send your contact referrals, or congratulate them for business achievements. The next business networking tip would be the don'ts. So besides all the stuff that we already discussed as far as networking, here's some things that you don't want to do. Go into networking thinking about how I can profit from this, or what is my main goal out of it. So yes, I want to network with all of you and I want to get something from each of you for me, right? You want to avoid that. The spirit of professionalism is to exchange information, and so you don't want to just be me first. And the last one would be interrupting others while they're talking to you, right? Sometimes we talk about ourselves and we're actually in a conversation and we're not listening to what people are saying to us. You're just thinking about what you're going to say next. And, oh, I identify with this and I can provide an example, and you're not really hearing what they're saying. And so we want to make sure that when you network, and how you network effectively, is actually listening to a lot of people. And then following up with them, how can I support you? How can I help, right? If this is something that they've talked to you about, or some goal that they're doing, or some project that they're on, you want to follow up with, hey, how can I help you? How can I support you? Because that will come back to you as well. And so now that I've gave you some effective strategies on how to network effectively, we encourage you to go ahead and go forth and network with each other. So take some of the tips that I just used, make sure that you have the contact information, try to find out what people are working on and see how you can help them. You never know how far that goes. And so thank you so much for your time. Right now we will take the networking portions in the back. If you guys feel more comfortable sitting at your seats, that's fine as well. But thank you much for coming, and this concludes our program.